Hello everyone, and welcome to another reaction video and vocal analysis where I will take a look and let you know my opinion as a versatile vocalist about a performance from our beloved artist Dimash. This time I want to look at a performance of the same song across different years. In the previous video we analyzed the Diva dance performance in the context of the Confessa and Diva dance performance together. This time, however, I'm looking at the 2017 performance of the Diva dance song alone, and the main focus will be to look at differences of how his vocal performance style, any changes that might have happened. Before we head into the song, just a few words about me. My name is Psamathes. I'm an Italian singer for video game, trailer music, library music and other media. I have experience in many genres and vocal styles, and this is why I was so interested in looking at an artist with such a wide experience and artistry such as Dimash. If you want to support what I do with these videos, I have a Patreon and also a Ko-fi button and page where you can show your support in many ways. You can also send me suggestions on ways that you would like me to add things related to reaction videos to any of these pages, either in these comments or those pages always have suggestion comments. You can also use those platforms. So feel free to get in touch, because I really want to be able to give you more content about this, because the feedback from you has been amazing, and this video also is happening thanks to your suggestions and the way that you have also educated me about Dimash, his history as a musician and singer, and how he has grown over the years as an artist. So please let me know, because I would love to be able to give back, with Patreon rewards or some kind of stuff like that. Alternatively, I also produce and publish my own music. If you are interested in that, it's either across this same YouTube channel or on any kind of music platform you can think of, Spotify, Apple Music, so you can also take a look at that. Thank you so much for sticking with me so far. Let's go ahead and look at the 2017 performance of the Diva dance. I'm sure many of you will come in and add the context of this performance, so let's go ahead and listen to how Dimash sings it in this year and on this specific stage.
концерт тыңдап жатырмын ағайын, шамалы болса да. Сенге жобасы финалда орындаған ағайын. Сіздер үшін.
Okay, first of all, always chills. Even if you've heard his voice over and over again, it's always amazing to listen to him. The first thing that I get the impression of between this performance and the one from the joint performance with Confessa is the music itself. Already places us in a different vibe. In the other performance we were entering into the song from the Italian ballad, and the arrangement of the Diva dance there is very different. It has some more evident rock and drum elements, while here it stays closer to the original Diva dance that we see in the Fifth Element movie and in the original soundtrack performance. When we think of performing a song, regardless of our perceived level of skill as a singer, we always have to place it in the context of the kind of music we are going along with, and this is very important. So let's first think what kind of music we are singing with. In this case we have dance electronica. In the other performance there were more band elements, so guitar, drums, I remember. In that case, since it's a later performance, it feels that also his own arrangement musically has evolved. Of course, technically we start off greatly, the flow of the voice is great. Also, I stopped here because I wanted just to say this very quickly. First few notes, then pause, breath, and he attacks on the high note to keep it, you know, as clean and bright as possible. He stops, he takes a breath. That also means he prepares his entire body vocally for the high note, and that is the kind of break that sometimes, not always, but sometimes you need to start on a very high note, because sometimes you will have vocal parts that are written to start your phrase on a very high note. Once again, forgive me if I stop. One very beautiful thing, before I get into the technical stuff, I wanted to mention the lighting show and the stage show that is going on is amazing. I love that in the other performance there was, if I remember correctly, a dancer, but here it's more in a more like epic style. Once again, also the colors, the bright cyan color also is reminding us of the Diva from the movie, because it's her own color as a character in the movie. Very important thing here is something that I will always say: you don't have to move your lips a lot when you sing, and this few seconds here are such a great example of this. You can see him go from the staccato to the long flowy notes with this a bit of glissando, so you glide from one note to another without going step by step. You know, you gradually go from one note to another. The staccato is when you go when he does this the glissando is this kind of very simple music theory words that you will encounter fairly often as a singer. They're from Italian, and then he goes all the way down. I mentioned this in the other video as well. I'm pretty sure that he goes down one octave lower than the original singer does, because he can, and it's beautiful for contrast, and once again to highlight the alien nature of the voice that is being shown to us in the Diva performance. Throughout all of this, getting back to my own point, his voice, his lips and his mouth is always like, you don't see him move anything between the short notes, the long notes with the gliding, when he goes to the low notes and when he rises back up. It's always like to keep the position always the same, because that ensures the stability of the voice. Before we start talking about the technical side of things, I wanted to go back to this bit because once again I was talking about the colors and everything. In these big stages, having this opportunity is beautiful to also give this kind of storytelling. The dancing figures with the long light blue dresses, reminding ourselves of the Diva, the singer from the Fifth Element movie. Once again, a beautiful choice. Once again, it's different than the one we saw in the Confessa and the Diva dance performance, but once again the stage there is also very different. The space is different. You wouldn't just be able to build this kind of thing there, so and the musical choice as well wouldn't maybe be fitting for this kind of epic thing such as this one is, so you have to kind of adapt as well. Also, it's beautiful to see at the end he's just catching his breath and all the people in the audience chanting his name, showing all their love, and he's basking in their affection, and in a way that also transfers to us watching at home. It's always beautiful to take a moment to kind of appreciate that as well. Technically, we can see the same thing as before, that he isn't compromising his vocal stability in any way. In this case, also in terms of vocal arrangement, I remember that in the other performance, which is done years later than this one, does some variation, which I really enjoyed. In this one, he does more or less the same thing as the original, which is beautiful. I think this is kind of an operatic approach. When you study an aria from an opera, you start by studying what's written on the score by the composer, and then maybe that famous or opera singer has added a variation on a solo, and you can implement that. You're studying Rigoletto and there's an aria for soprano. You study the aria as it is written on the score. Then you get familiar with it, you perform it as it is written, which is the first most important thing, because what is written there is written for a specific meaning. Then you can go ahead and listen to other performances over the years once your voice has settled, also in terms of experience, memory, also muscle memory, and you're like, okay, I want to start implementing that because now I have enough experience with this kind of character, with this kind of song, with the way that I need to use my voice in this specific song, and you go and start implementing the solo, which has variation. And we can kind of see a similar thing here. In this 2017 performance, he's doing the thing as it is written, and over the years we've seen the changes. Here we see in the finale he does the higher note. We've already seen that he uses his lower voice, so in a way he's not really singing it exactly as it is written, but it's not a problem. It's not like written somewhere that he has to stick to the score. This is also the beauty of modern music, that there's always the space to experiment so much. This is a professional and very artistic approach to singing a song that just goes beyond having the background music and singing with your own voice the song, which is by no means wrong. I don't want to say that in any way, because your own interpretation, even just by singing the song as it is always beautiful and correct. But this is a very fun way to explore things further, vocally speaking and emotionally speaking as well, because it's always something that goes together. Your voice and the emotional aspect of the music. This is, we can call it the standard ish version. We've looked already at one version with some variations, and some of you already mentioned that there are other versions, so let me know if there like the years where I can maybe find those other even different versions, so that I can also look at those. Even if this song is so short, you can always see vocal workout that it goes through this short span of time, and as well, after the song is done, you can kind of see Dimash, but any singer that performs this song, stop after the song has ended and be like, okay, whew, I'm done, finally, yeah. It's beautiful to see this emotion of the performance itself, which is also part of why we, in a way, are excited to see singers perform difficult things vocally, you know, also to see their emotion approaching these difficult things to sing. Most of all, we also enjoy seeing the moment of relief and joy, and then transfer all of that to the audience at the end, which then reflects it back to you with all that love and cheering and excitement that we've just seen, because we like to go through the emotional journey that that difficult note or phrase entails along with the singer. Do let me know if you find something different between this performance and the one from my previous video. I will link it here so you can go and look back at it. Do let me know what you enjoyed about this, about the other performance. There's no good or bad performance, of course. Everything is just part of a singer's evolution and journey. So yeah, thank you for staying here with me throughout this vocal analysis and reaction, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.